Hi, Natalie. This is not just with relation to children with autism, but all children with special needs. Now, the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario has released a damning new report called Broken Promises or Promises Unfulfilled, which points out an alarming funding gap for special education. Now, ETFO says that the Doug Ford government has a record of inaction and chronic neglect of special education, which has led to limited resources and to other systemic barriers. And ETFO says that has left Ontario's most vulnerable students without the supports they need. The report identifies challenges like a lack of early intervention, barriers to accessing programs, increasing school violence due to unmet student needs, and limited resources and support services. ETFO is calling on 3 quick fixes to improve the funding formula. First, by indexing special education funding to inflation. Secondly, it says an assessment backlog needs to be addressed, meaning 59% of kids receiving special education support have not been assessed by an identification, placement, and review committee. And third, that the statistical funding model be improved upon, given much of special education funding is using census data from almost 20 years ago.
The right to an education that enables every child to reach their full potential is not just a promise, it is the law. But this government has failed to uphold the law, systemically failing students, educators, education workers, and families.
The complex needs of students continues to increase while the resources available to support them well are almost non-existent. As a teacher, I am far too familiar with what it's like to evacuate a class due to physical and/or emotional violence. And so are students.
And that's hard for any parent, right? To have to now pick up the pieces for whatever fell apart during the school day, but also then to potentially have to answer for why their child is having behavioral issues at school, or maybe why their child is sad or depressed or anxious or whatever they're feeling because they don't want to go back to school.
With the special education funding in particular, what we do here is to fund based on estimates. Estimates that sometimes use 2006 data, whereas 2016 data is available, 2021 data is available.
In all, the report makes 27 recommendations, including increasing funding, additional support staff, reduced classroom sizes, and ongoing and improved professional training for staff. Reporting live from Janice Golding, now back to Nathan.